In this video, we'll continue building a dashboard of Atlanta flight delays. I've got the dashboard open that we built in the previous video. We'll add interactivity, and for me, this is really the fun part of building a dashboard. First, I want you to notice how the dashboard works by default. Let's click on an airport in the map. We can highlight their airport, but nothing else happens. Let's click on the map to select its container, and then in the menu drop down for its container, there's an option called Use as Filter. Click that option, and then the funnel will show as gray and full, indicating that we have enabled it. Again, let's click on a dashboard, and then notice that the other charts in the dashboard will filter to show only the data for that airport. See how easy that was? This is where we can really start to see new insights from bringing all of our visualizations together into one dashboard. We can see that for most destination airports, late aircraft is the longest type of delay. However, that trend's different for a few airports, such as SHV in Shreveport. That's interesting. So you can click on an airport again to unfilter, or you can also hit the escape key on your keyboard, and that will unfilter. What you've done by using the map as a filter is called setting a filter action. I want to show you something that I found confusing when I was a new Tableau user. Let's go back to the worksheet for the map, and then let's look at the filter shelf. The filter shelf looks the same as before with no filters in it. However, for each of the other three workbooks, if you click on them, you'll see that the filter shelf will include a new pill that says Action Dest, and it's an italic font, and that means that Tableau has automatically generated this filter for us. This is the filter that's used when we click on the map. It performs a filter action, which is to filter each chart by the destination airport that we select in the map. Dest, D-E-S-T, is the field name. Let's go back to the dashboard. Next, let's click on a delay cause in the bar chart. Again, we see that we can highlight a delay cause, but nothing else happens. Let's click on the bar chart to select its container, and then let's hit the quick button for Use as a Filter. It's that funnel. Click on a delay cause again, and then notice that the other charts in the dashboard will filter to show only data for that delay cause. This is interesting. Clicking on weather delays shows that there are actually many airports with weather delays of over 90 minutes, and that's indicated by orange airports. We've added another filter action, and going back over to the other charts in our worksheets, we'll show it in the filter shelf now. For example, let's look at the line chart, and then you see it here in the filter action. It's called Action Main Delay Cause in italics. Let's also add a filter action for the line chart in our dashboard. Go ahead and select some of the marks in the viz to see that nothing filters. So let's select the filter action, Use as Filter. And now when you click on the different marks, you'll see that all of the charts filter. So this is where we really need to start thinking about usability. Do we really need to filter at the daily level? When we do that, the data looks rather sparse. We don't have data for each airport anymore. This is a personal preference, and it really depends on what you're trying to show. For now, let's still disable its filter action by selecting the funnel. And now we've taken away that filter action. Instead, I want to add a filter for the time of day of flight departure. So how would we do that? First, you need to go to one of the sheets. I'll go to the map. And then we can add a filter just like you normally would if you weren't building a dashboard. The information we need is stored in a field called DEP time block for departure time block. And then we can add a filter by using the drop-down menu and select Show Filter. and it adds an interactive filter over on the right side. Now let's go back over to the dashboard. You might have expected to see it over here, and that's definitely what I would have expected too. If you had created this interactive filter before you added the map onto your dashboard, then Tableau would have brought that filter over for you when you dragged the map over and into the dashboard. However, since you've already added the map to your dashboard, it's not going to add that filter automatically now. There are a couple of ways to add it. I've seen many people delete the chart from the dashboard and then add it again. Then it'll bring the filter over with it when you add the map again. But it will often forget any resizing that you've done, and you'll have to do that again as well. An alternative way, and my preferred method, is that you click on the map to select it, and then in the drop-down menu for its container, there's an option called Filters. You can find that option and then select the departure time block filter from the list, and then that adds it to the dashboard for you. Now let's click on some of those time blocks in the filter. I want to select the morning flights between 6 a.m. and 9:59 a.m. That's 4 different time blocks. And you'll see that those changes just apply to the map. So how can we use this filter in all of the other charts on the dashboard? We can do that by selecting the filter and using the drop-down menu and then selecting Apply to Worksheets, and then select the option All using related data sources, or all using this data source. I'll select that one. And then if you notice, the other charts changed as well. So now using this filter will impact all charts on your dashboard. To make it even more obvious to users that they can select certain departure times, you can edit the filter title to change it to have an action verb. I'll change mine to select a departure date. Double click on the title and type in select a departure, actually time, not date. Select a departure time and click OK. Now that we've got our filter set up, we'll talk about another way to add interactivity. It's called highlighting. Let's navigate over to the Delay by Cause worksheet. Here, let's check out the field called Extreme Delays. If you notice the icon beside it, it has an equal sign in there. And this indicates that it's a calculated field that has been added into the Tableau workbook. In Tableau, a calculated field is a custom field you create by writing a formula, often one that uses other fields in the data. You can right-click it and then select Edit to see its calculation. This says if average departure delay in minutes is greater than or equal to 90 minutes, then let's label this field as extreme delay. Otherwise, let's label it as delay. I won't go into details about creating calculated fields, but there are lots of functions that you can use, which you can see by expanding the menu on the right of this window. And I'll go ahead and close that. You can see that this field is used for color in the marks card. Let's navigate back over to the dashboard and check out the color legend for extreme delays. Notice what happens when you use a discrete field on color like we have here. Tableau will make it possible to click on each color. If we click on extreme delay in the legend, we'll see that the marks associated with delay causes with an average delay of over 90 minutes will be highlighted in the bar chart below. All other marks in the bar chart and on the other charts are grayed out. Let's click on delay in the legend and see that the blue bars are now shown and everything else is grayed out. This behavior is called highlighting, and it's enabled by default. But it can be turned off by selecting the legend, using the drop-down menu, and unchecking the option for highlight selected items. There's also a tiny pencil icon that comes up to the right, and you can use that to enable or disable as well. Personally, I have a hard time seeing that icon and I don't use it very often. I'll keep it enabled for now and then show you how to add more highlighting interactivity. If you have other visualizations in your dashboard that use the same field, extreme delays, then you could add highlighting across multiple visualizations. I'll go to the line charts worksheet, and then I'll drag extreme delays onto color in the marks card, and then go back over to the dashboard. And then notice that when I click on the legend now, I see highlighting for the line chart too. By default, highlighting will apply to all visualizations that use the legend of interest. For the map, we already have a color legend that's based on the average delays, so we don't want to apply the extreme delays field to color. However, we could use that field somewhere else on the map to enable highlighting. So for example, we could use it in tooltip, detail, or labels. I'll go over to the maps worksheet and then drag extreme delays into the tooltip. And then go back over to the dashboard, and then we can see that clicking on extreme delays in the legend now highlights several airports with extreme delays, one date with extreme delays, and one delay cause. Let's change the legend title to prompt the user to do something. I'll double click on it and then call it Click to Highlight. And click OK. By now you can probably see that you're able to add a ton of interactivity very quickly. One thing to watch out for is too much interactivity. If you're creating a dashboard that other people will be using, it's often recommended to let someone test out your dashboard and see how it works for them. With both the filtering and the highlighting that we've added to our dashboard, that might be too much. And you can see that for this dashboard if you start using the airport filters. For example, I'll go over and select the Seattle airport. It has an average delay of 70 minutes that I see from the tooltip. So it's blue. This mark is blue. And then it's categorized as delay in the legend over here. We can see that the blue delay category is also highlighted throughout the other charts, for example, in the line chart and the bar chart, even though there are some data points for this airport with this extreme delays. For example, on December 9th, and for carrier delays, we see that we have large delays that are orange, but those orange marks are grayed out due to the highlighting. I think I like this dashboard better without highlighting. I'll go ahead and disable it. You can do that by unchecking Highlight Selected Items. And then you can also reset the title here by double-clicking on the title and clicking Reset. And that goes back to before you prompted the user to click to highlight. And now whenever you click on those, nothing happens. But you do still have all of your filter actions that we had previously. This is a good place to stop this video, and we'll cover dashboard formatting options in another video. Be sure to save your workbook so that you can continue to follow along in the next video.